Hello, everyone. I'm talking tonight to the collective that calls themselves Group 7. If that name resonates with you, or if you have received other messages from other channelers or from me for Group 7 that have resonated, then you are meant to be here. Oh, shoot. Okay. I came on just feeling like I needed to talk to you, but not knowing about what. But now I do. And the message I'm hearing is that we are woodwind pioneers. That's a really interesting combination of words. But I think it's interesting we're getting the Eight of Cups here in the moon. Two really, really emotional, deeply connected to water cards, which is also depth, intuition. Now, this phrase, woodwind pioneers. I love this. Okay, they're saying that through the breath of life, through speaking, and consider the woodwind instruments are the ones that make sound that cause vibration through the breath. So woodwinds are like clarinets, flutes, piccolos, all those instruments that require breath control and expression through the breath. We are pioneers in breathing onto the earth new life through the breath. So this is going to really resonate with people who are yoga instructors, who are practicing Qigong, who are singers, maybe cantors, vocalists, preachers, people who might also have channels of their own on social media, people who are working with groups. There's a lot of group expression and the need to use the voice and to recognize the seat of power in the body that is the center of breath. The breath of life energy, or the key energy, is that which feeds the earth, is what I'm hearing. So you are beginning to recognize how powerful you are when you use your voice to express yourself. For some people in this collective, it's maybe the first time, and maybe they're even going through a moment right now where they're hearing standing up for yourself for the first time. You might be kind of like maybe even exploding with emotion in a new way. What I love about this interpretation of the moon is just how freaking cool she is. Like, look how she's got like butterflies, like her belly glows. Like, there's the center of breath. Her face has this cool, like, eye mask elements, his jewelry. She's like, basically, she's coming to life in a way that she is defining for herself. And I feel this collective is experiencing a transformation right now where it's like you're finally shouting like, fuck all y'all, this is me. And you don't care if you sound crazy, look crazy. If you're totally transforming how you look and feel, it might be requiring you to walk away from something. In fact, and look how she's like looking towards the moon. Again, so she's looking towards her emotions as this guiding light, this new principle, which is really the oldest principle, aligning to our emotions and who we are. But she's using it to reorient herself in a new direction that feels more in alignment with the truest version of herself that she's ever seen. I don't feel like that sentence came out clearly at all, but hopefully you know what I'm saying. It's a confusing time. It's a really chaotic time. Some of you might be having falling outs. You might be breaking up with someone. You might be leaving a situation. You might be moving out of the home you're currently in and finding a new one. You might be leaving a job and finding a new one. You might be leaving an organization or having some kind of maybe like even like a blow up confrontation. Because again, remember, like following, your highest spiritual path doesn't always look like hearts and flowers and good vibes and like, never having anger or sad thoughts. It's of course understanding where those come from and deciding how you want to channel them into your highest good, but it's not about ignoring them or suppressing them. It's about being really conscious of how we're expressing them, and are we expressing them in a way in order to honor our own truest sense of self. So those of you who are experiencing some kind of confrontation, it's really only a confrontation because it feels like it's like the first time you've set up a really firm boundary that possibly hasn't existed before. So for some of you, it's going to feel confrontational, maybe more to the other party because they're not used to you being so firm and standing your own ground in who you are and what you have to say. So that's going to come across even as aggressive to some people. But that just tells you that you need to stand even firmer, because you holding up a boundary for yourself is never an aggressive move to somebody who respects boundaries. So this is a collective that really isn't used to that kind of behavior. Here's what's funny. It's like some of you are not necessarily even confronting someone who's like an enemy or a, so-called bad person. It may be that you are being put in enmity with another individual who may themselves also be, from their perspective, experiencing the same thing you are. And it's almost like, I know this sounds so weird, but this is going to apply only to a select few of you, but it's like karmically, it's almost like you can handshake now and like say like, we did it, we did the job, we can like move on, because you both had to perform the role for each other, I'm hearing, of being each other's boundary breaker. Like you standing in your own truth and sovereignty and claiming your own boundaries required that other person to recognize their own boundaries and you maybe even find like their own courage, like they may have been acting in a way that felt confrontational because they were scared and maybe threatened by the power that they suddenly saw in you. But the thing is, it was like a blessed experience for them too, because it forced them to reflect on the ways in which they felt disempowered. And maybe they were like even performing a role that they didn't want to perform to, I know this is really specific for someone, but like to suppress you or be confrontational with you, or to put you in a position that like in other circumstances they would never have wanted to put you in. And it's not really like who they are either, but they have felt trapped. So the kind of the beautiful irony is like you standing up for yourself and you setting your boundary like freed both of you by forcing them to confront kind of the system that they were likewise trapped in. So this is some of the work that is being done by group 7s right now. So give yourselves a big hug, because this is like messy and it's like really confused in my head trying to like get into words. So thanks for bearing with me as I'm sort of spewing this out haphazardly. And like I have been in my own version of it too. But we're coming out of it to the other side where we can begin to see what kind of clearing that space is now giving us the room to be and think and do. And whenever you are seeing this video, is going to be that moment when you are beginning to see that shift happening. So hang tight. You're in it to win it. And there is no doubt that you are stepping into a lighter, freer, fuller version of yourself and beginning to fulfill the contract of what Group 7s came here to do, which is to be gentle light leaders. And our gentleness is what's going to feel so good to be in. And it's going to feel, if it hasn't already, you're going to begin to get these signs of how good it feels to exist gently, is what I'm going to say. Like you resting more, you finding that you can get more out of relationships by giving less, which for you, giving less maybe probably just means not over giving, because Group 7s like are very inclined to give. We're givers. So it's like, and a lot of that is also coming from emotional wounds of the past too. So it's like not even just like over giving, but like giving out of like a sense of desperation or fear, or like needing the validation to feel loved by knowing that you're always trying to like people please or do for others. And you're shifting your frequency of expression now such that your loving divine presence and inner calm and peace and self-love is actually giving to others by acting like a radio tower that other people pick up on and access. Think about like when you're in a room with a grumpy person and how much it brings everyone down, right? You, by being your lovely, bright, warm, sovereign self, are uplifting everyone around you. So it's like when you give to you, when you pull back and exist in your gentleness, you do less, you actually are contributing more to the world. So that is one of the beautiful lessons of Group 7s, that we are showing how we can be givers to others while also giving to ourselves. And thereby everyone is nurtured and nobody feels depleted by the exchange. So it's a really cool transition in how we think of ourselves as light leaders, as healers, as communicators, as being a support system for ourselves and others. So we are being loving and nurturing by existing in that way in which we want to see others exist and live. And in so doing, we are creating a frequency like a radio station that others can now tune to. We're making it really easy for people around us to tune into that radio station that wasn't available before. And that is the healing that we're spreading around us. So it's awesome to be in this stage because it's a really intuitive, just gentle is the word I keep getting, just a gentle time. It's in the northern hemisphere here, it's winter. So it's almost like a period of sleeping, resting, recuperating. But it's a time of pulling back your energy for sure, so that you can recharge within and have more to offer. And then when you feel ready, I do absolutely encourage you to start offering, whether it's jumping on a video like this and being willing to be kind of like awkward and weird like me and speak your truth, and know that even if you connect with one other person, you might be the voice that they needed to hear so that they can integrate into their heart that message, and then they can pass it to the next and the next and the next. And that's how together we uplift the world. It's very cool. So I encourage you to hop on YouTube, to paint, to not be afraid to smile at a stranger and say a kind word to someone. And just exist in your gentleness. It's so beautiful and we need it right now. All right, I'm going to end it there. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.